Hello, you're very welcome back to Danu's Irish Herb Garden. And it's not a repost, it's a new fresh video. And you're all very welcome, all the die-hard people who've been here with us for years and all the new subscribers, you're very welcome. And guess what? We've just surpassed 200,000 subscribers, so thank you so much. It doesn't really mean anything, but at the same time, I get a kick out of seeing the numbers click over and reach that kind of... It just was hovering for so long, and now we've finally just gone over that hurdle. So thank you so much. And last week, I forgot to mention that the herb course, every herb course purchased gets a free Imbolc Festival. So that's going to carry on for another couple of weeks to celebrate reaching the 200,000 mark. And today, I love a bargain, so I'm propagating some plants. So today it's plants for free. And I've just noticed the honeysuckle is coming into bud now. There's lots and lots of buds, but there's a couple of little branches here that are still dormant. And this is the time of year to get your hard cuttings. So there's all kinds of things that you can take cuttings from at this time of year. I've started rosemary. I'm going to get some honeysuckle now. You can do roses, you can do forsythia, you can do the fruit bushes, you know, gooseberries, black currants, red currants, all of those things. And basically just try anything. Dogwood, willow, lots of things like willow and roses will you just stick them in and they'll take off anyway. But I've never tried a honeysuckle before, so I'm going to try now. And the way you take a cutting is you cut straight right underneath or just above a leaf node. So I'm going to take this one here and then just snip off the top of it as well. And that will root, I hope, because I've never done honeysuckle before. Usually I don't even think about it very much. I just stick things in to the ground or into a pot. And so I've been looking up the science behind it. I've been looking up the best way to do it and the best time of year. So far I've been very fortunate in that things do just tend to root. But let's go and give it a try with the rosemary. Oh, look. The rose is back in leaf already. I'm going to get some of a rose next to the house that I would like to propagate. I'm just going past holly, and holly is another plant that you can propagate at this time of year. But a lot of hollies also, when they touch the ground, which is happening to our big holly in the front hedge here, when they touch the ground, they start to put roots down. So you get lots of new growth coming up when they do that. But you can take a cutting now of holly as well. Come on, dogs. I'm a big fan of this little rose bush because it spreads and crawls and it's going up into the trees, and then you get a kind of cascade of flowers in the summertime. It hasn't lost its leaves all winter because we've never really got particularly cold, really excessively cold temperatures. But because I love the way it climbs and cascades, I'm going to take a few cuttings from here as well. And I'm just going to snip them off. I'm going to take that one. And I'm going to take that one. Look, it's still got berries on. So keeping them the right way up. I want to make sure I don't plant them head first. And now I'm going to get some rosemary. So this is my beautiful rosemary. Look at it. Look how old it is. These old gnarled branches. We've had this particular plant for years, and it got so big and beautiful, and then a storm came, whipped it around, and it's become very bent over. But it's still thriving and beautiful. But I have planted a couple more. This one a couple of years ago, and then this one down there this year. But you can't have too much rosemary because it's so tasty on your roast potatoes and in different kinds of dishes, but it's also medicinal. Brilliant for memory, for the heart, for the cardiovascular system, and it's also good, I've just found out, for burning fat. So, oh, and look, this is a buddleia or a butterfly bush. This is another tree. You can just cut it off, stick it in. That's how I've propagated all of these in the garden. I just kept sticking bits in everywhere. Rosemary loves to be beside the sea. So even though it's a Mediterranean herb, it's doing really well here. We're very close to the sea. And apart from that wind, it's just been thriving. So I'm going to take a couple of cuttings from here. So there's a couple. I want one with a little woody stem. There it is. There's one. There now. So I've got my few cuttings here. And I could just stick them into a pot. I could stick them into the ground probably, but I'm going to start them off in water, and I'm going to use willow as a rooting hormone. So the way I do it is I chop some willow, cut it up into small pieces, put it in water, and that saves me buying root hormone powder or gel or all of these other things that to me don't seem to be very natural. I just don't like the thought of them. So I'm going to use a very natural root hormone, which is a little willow branch. So there we go. That's a brand new little willow whip, full of life, about to just pop open into leaf. And that's going to be full of hormones for growth. So it's going to act like a root hormone for these little cuttings. So I'll head off to the greenhouse. So I've just got some fresh rainwater from the water butt, and I'm going to take the willow whip. I'm just going to chop it into here, little tiny pieces. Oops. It's funny, I've never really set out to intentionally do propagation like this. I tend to just grab things and stick them in as I see them. And I'm spotting loads of things now that I can be propagating. I've just spotted some lavender there. I may as well try that as well. There you go. There's all the willow is in there. And over the next few days, that's going to release hormones into the water. And what you do with your little cuttings is we're just going to strip off the bottom and scratch and injure the stem of whatever it is you're propagating. Just scratch it gently with the side of the secateurs. Do it with the rose. So again, just going to scratch the end of that. And it just sends signals that there's been damage, and so the plant will try to repair it and will put new material out, which will be little roots, hopefully. So I'll just cut that off there, cut that off, and I'll just give that a little, see? And then to the water, I don't think it'll matter that all these different things are going into the same water. And here is the honeysuckle I took up the road. I think I'm going to actually turn that into two. So I'm just going to cut it again above that little leaf node. So I've got this one. There we go. And now I've got this one as well. So we'll just see if it works. There we are, that's lovely. So I save a lot of seeds, you know, at harvest time. And that's a way of saving money as well, and guaranteeing the plants that you really want and the plants that you know do well. So this is another way of doing it. And this is some that I did 2 days ago, and I'm going to pot these up now into little plant pots, and then hopefully in another couple of weeks, or at least when the weather gets a little bit better, I can put them outside and plant them out. And obviously all this depends on your area. I know in America you have different zones. We don't have zones, so you can see we've got a lot of greenery here. We rarely get frost. It is cold today for us, and when I think of you people who have told me you're waist high in snow and ice and you can't even dig the car out, we are getting off very lightly with our winter. So we can start doing this kind of thing a lot sooner, a lot earlier in the year. But, you know, you can bear it in mind for when your spring does arrive. So I just got a little bit of compost. All right, so I've got compost in the pots. I've just watered it. It's not too wet. It's just nice and moist. You don't want it to be soggy. And these are my little cuttings. I'm just going to pop them around the edge of the pot. I'll put those 3 in there. I think I'll just put 2 to each pot actually. So I'll take this one out and put it in here. So they're opposites each other. And this is a kind of a big one. This is another experiment because it's quite a large woody stem. So I'm just going to put that in that way. And please God, they will all root and make new plants. And this is my jar from today. I'm going to add a bit of this water because it will be more potent because it's been on the go for a bit longer. There we are. And there we are, all done. I mean, there's so many ways you can save money in the garden. You know, make your own compost as we do. And then in the summertime, you can make compost teas using nettles or comfrey. You can use any organic material, actually. And you can even use urine. So if you have any 5-litre drums of vinegar that are empty or whatever the product was, rinse it out, clean it out, and you can pee into it and use that for fertilizing your garden as well, for feeding the plants, because there's so many mineral salts in urine that it's really beneficial. Just dilute it 1 to 10. But the compost teas, you don't really need to worry about diluting. As long as, you know, if you were making a manure-based compost tea, you'd want to dilute that because that could burn young plants and young seedlings. So you've got to always be ready to adjust. But I feel good that I've managed to do something early in the garden. And here my peas and beans are coming up. I planted these at the beginning of January. And I did them in a hot box, but the hot box has been turned off for the last 2 weeks, and it was just to get them to germinate. So now they're coming up lovely, and I'll be able to put those out in another week or so. So take heart, you people with the snow, because eventually you will get to this stage where you can be planting things. And there's an idea for plants for free. So I've also did take a cutting of lavender. So I'm going to let you know what happens in the next couple of weeks. And hopefully we'll have more lavender outside as well. So we've got a lovely lady coming to stay with us over the weekend now, Pauline. She is coming to help me in the garden. And we're doing a barter, we're doing an exchange. So I've got to go and get the house ready now and get tidied up. Before I go, just to remind you of the special offer, purchase a herb course, you get a free Imbolc Festival from the Wise Woman Way training course. And if all the information is right underneath this video, there's a little word says see more, and then if you click on that, a box opens with all the information. And just to let you know as well, the book cover has been created and I'm so excited to have seen it. It's a lovely, lovely, colourful front cover of the book. And So things are moving on with the book, and it won't be long now before I'll have a date for all of those people who have very kindly expressed an interest and been so encouraging. So thank you so much to everyone for that. So see you next week. Have a wonderful week, and hope the temperatures rise a little bit so you're not freezing cold out there. Bye. I hope you enjoyed today's film. If you did, subscribe and hit the bell for notifications. And have a look at the website danusirishherbgarden.com for more information about us and about the herbal medicine courses I offer and the Wise Woman Way training. And if you go to the shop, you can find the books, the weed handbooks and other herbal goodies. And remember, we put a new film out every Sunday. So looking forward to seeing you next week.